Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Marvel's The Defenders, Season 1, Episode 4. It's called Golden Dragon. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. First of all, the title of this one worried me, because I noticed it before I clicked play, and I thought, oh, it's going to be Iron Fist centric. Oh no. Luckily, it was just the name of the restaurant that we're in for the majority of the episode.
Oh, thank God for small mercies.
Yeah, it's funny actually because obviously you compare it to like we complained that an entire episode of Iron Fist almost took place on a plane. How is this different? Well, that's the thing. I like bottle episodes when you handle them well, and for the most part, this was
This is,
handled fairly well.
yeah, I mean, the end of the last review, we said, we can see some having some downtime, get to know each
And
other.
I actually kind of respect the idea that for the next episode, it's basically them sitting in one room explaining who the hell each other are for like the episode.
Yeah, it's important.
It's basically what we got here. Obviously, Jessica kind of leaves for a little bit and comes back, which honestly makes for a fantastic ending. I got really pumped because she
Yeah.
enters in such a Jessica way. Because she's so reckless. I mean, not literally, but she's like a wrecking ball, to use like the metaphor. So the idea of her like throwing a car at Elektra
A
is
literal wrecking ball.
not literal. It's a car. It's still a car.
Yeah, but it's been used as a wrecking ball.
Sure, sure.
It's demolishing a building. I'm counting it.
It broke the window. It's not demolishing it. Right?
It counts.
If she goes back out and starts doing the rest of the building with the car, then fair
Just
enough. You've got a
stop
point.
picking it apart, damn it.
What did I want to talk about before we get to the main gist of what everything that's brought up is one of your complaints during Iron Fist is now very relevant
Yes.
because they kind of explained it and it's in a way that actually makes a lot of sense and all of a sudden it's not actually that big a deal.
No, it was a problem in Iron Fist because they never bloody explained it.
Yeah, because you got confused because there seemed to be more than one hand, whereas here they've clearly said no, there was five leaders. They made up the five fingers of the hand. Oh, look at that, that works.
Who got to be the thumb?
The thumb is the most important one, so I'd argue that's Alexandra
Okay.
because you can't pick anything up without the
But
thumb.
but also, you've got the one finger that points. So and that's like, she's pointing the direction for the hand.
The pinky's clearly the useless one.
That's Gao.
I don't
No,
think
no,
it's
no,
good.
no, no.
It's the guy
That's
from
the
Iron
guy that
Fist.
died. Yeah,
It's the Iron Fist guy. Whatever his
yeah.
name was. Oh yeah, it's actually because that was the name that I kept saying the wrong way around. Like because I kept putting the vowels in the wrong place. All Iron Fist. It was Naboku
Yeah.
or
Bakuto.
Bakuto. That was it. And I kept saying Bakoto like or something
Yeah,
like that all season.
I think you said it differently every time,
I did.
but
Yeah.
it was always wrong.
Yeah. So that was the thing. So they explain it, and I'm like, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense, especially since he clearly says because it's Stick that explaining all this, and he's like, yeah, they all went to different countries, their own nations, and it's like it makes sense. That's why there's one that's Japanese, one that's Chinese, one that's American,
I'll
and so
allow it.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm perfectly satisfied with this explanation. It was a problem at the time. I stand by my criticism when I said it.
Fair enough. I sort of snickered to myself and went, Connor's an idiot. Well, I will say this. I'm actually surprised no one got annoyed in the comments and went, "How guys? It's five fingers of the hand. Come on now, like because I assume this is in the comics. All this nonsense.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it probably is. I imagine it is. So respectful about the restraint.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah. I really have to admit, I'm actually kind of worried how much I'm enjoying people tell Iron Fist he's an idiot.
It's
Because even
really cathartic, isn't it?
even Stick, who I've not traditionally liked all that much, like he comes in and he calls Iron Fist an idiot for carrying a phone because they can track it. It's just like yeah, call him an idiot, and then Jessica's like giving him shit. It's like, oh, this is stupid, and he's like, oh, I'm the immortal Iron Fist. I'm the plex.
They're all like, what the shit you on about, mate?
And Matt's like, uh, it's good stuff. And you know what? Danny even had a decent moment in this. I mean, Luke bonding over the dumplings.
Yeah.
It was a nice little moment.
And when he's just there still eating, and Luke's like, "How are you still hungry?" I can respect that.
Do you know what the funny thing is as much as I've never read an Iron Fist comic, and maybe fans can, comment on this down below, like if you're familiar with the character from the comic books, but that moment where he's like, it takes a lot of energy to power my chi, and then he like sort of like munches on the dumpling, that felt like it was in character for the comics, and I've never read the comics, but for some reason it just stuck out to me as, just from the brief like glimpses I've seen of him, that seemed like his sense of humour.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So I just, oh, the fans can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but for some reason that line stuck out to me as no, that actually felt like he was supposed to sound for a split
Also,
second.
if there's Chinese food on the table, you eat it.
That's fair. That's fair. They all sit down and have Chinese food. I was really hungry actually about
I
halfway
I
through
am
this.
starving right now.
Yeah, they did. God damn it, that's not fair. Um, so Stick obviously. I mean, Matt has his whole thing. He's trying to tell them all to not pursue this. No, we're not going to do this. And the big sort of moment before the titles kick in is that it's actually Jessica, which I appreciated. She realizes it's Daredevil, which actually makes a lot of sense. We never guessed that, but it makes a lot of sense because she is a PI, and she's right.
Yeah,
I mean, Iron Fist doesn't figure it out.
I said at least one of them would know though.
Oh yeah, you did, but I think we never specifically said, "Oh, it'll be Jessica because she's a PI," but I like
Yeah,
that she did. And then I like that she talks him into coming back, and like get over your shit, like come on, which is funny because she's the one that bails later when she actually hears
yeah,
all this stuff from Stick because let's face it, it sounds like a lot of nonsense. Um, what I do like, I like that whatever they're planning, he sets what the precedence is. He's like Chernobyl, Pompeii. You're like, oh right,
okay,
okay,
yeah,
Pompeii, yeah, whatever. France. But like I'm like, oh, good. Like that actually gives me context for how big this is going to be. This is good.
yeah. It's citywide destruction, like lost to history.
Yeah, yeah. So like right away we know what the stakes are now, which is great.
Yeah,
And they obviously tested whatever they were doing, or it was like a precursor thing. So
and also to go back to the first episode discussion, you were like, well, whatever this is, if it's so big, why don't they call in the Avengers?
because they
And I
won't know
think
about it until because it's about preventing it rather than
right,
reacting
and
to it.
because Stick is kind of the only one who really knows beforehand, before he comes and tells them.
I mean, even without that, like it's just because after episode one, it felt like something big just happened at the end. But then as we got into it, oh no, it just appears like a small earthquake, and like
Yeah,
no one knows seems to think there's anything else going on publicly.
right, and
So
Stick's like the only one knows, and why would he go to the Avengers?
yeah, why would he? I mean, even though it would like you'd think he would think of that. He thinks he's smart. He's like, oh, I've
I,
trained
I,
Matt all
I,
his
I
life.
don't, I don't think he'd trust the Avengers. It doesn't seem in character for him to go to a bunch of randoms, does it?
It doesn't. But I mean, to be fair, Jessica and Luke are randoms to him.
They are, but they're kind of vouched for through company.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's fair. So yeah, he explains everything. He explains that yeah, they're all immortal. They were like the five that were outcasts from Kunlun, and they wanted everything for
And
themselves.
it
Want to be
sets up
immortal.
that they're a lot older than maybe we thought. Because he goes, oh,
Ancient,
maybe it was
yeah.
centuries, maybe it was millennia, but either way,
Because
very long
Jessica
time.
pisses off and she goes to analyze all the photos she took of the records, and she notices presumably Alexandra's handwriting is the same, like in all these
Yes.
signatures through all the
Yeah.
eras. And it's like, oh, okay, right. So she's seeing proof of it, even though she was like doubting it, and it was all crazy shit. She's just seen some evidence for it. And then she goes back to the house where the family live, and like there's a guy claiming to be a cop sitting in a car because Jessica's like, I'm going to get you protection because she realizes because obviously that's a big thing that Matt lays on thick because he's obviously remembering Elektra. He says your loved ones will be in danger, and she thinks of them because obviously he was killed already, or he killed himself, but same
Yeah.
difference, circumstances.
Yeah, they were
Um,
after him.
so first of all, I loved how she obviously grabs the guy out the car and she like beats him up a little bit, but I loved how it ended because he's not giving her information, and she's just like, right, I'm no black. Actually, I loved that line. Am I the only one who suddenly didn't know how know karate? I thought that was a really funny line because everyone does seem to know how kung fu now, except her and
And
Luke.
Luke, to be
And Luke,
fair.
to be fair, but but obviously Matt's doing a lot of martial arts. Danny's doing martial arts now. This guy's trying to martial art on her. Just it feels like there's a lot of martial arts going on.
Yeah, and then Sticks here.
Sticks here, yeah. So, but I love that she's just pressing his head into the windscreen of the car.
You just see it crack.
Yeah, it's a really nice angle to show it from as well. You just see the cracking appearing. So I love that. Speaking of Jessica Jones scenes that I really liked, I actually liked the scene where Luke runs out after her and they have a little talk where it looks like, yeah, this is all kind of crazy, but I want to help, and this seems like it'll lead to help.
Yeah,
Uh, I liked the music. I liked that it was lit more like a Jessica Jones scene than it was a Luke Cage scene. There was definitely more of a purpley vibe.
yeah,
Music was good. It gave it this kind of romantic thing. And as much as he's with Claire right now, they still have a lot of chemistry.
they
Like
do.
that last moment when he's like, "Oh, it was nice to see you," and she's like, "Yeah," like that was oozing like not tension, but just there chemistry. Like there was a reaction.
Definitely.
And I don't know why I'm doing that with my hand. That's a weird motion to be going.
That's your way of saying tension and reaction, is it?
Attention! I'm groping a giant ball sack. Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing. So I really like that scene. And her entrance at the end is actually because obviously Alexandra shows up at the end, and she kind of basically tries to, not sexually, but like seduce Danny to the dark side. Like, oh, there's other ways to do this, Danny. You feel loved, and this is, I've always had respect for the Iron Fist. And she's basically trying to butter him up, and then it's like, okay, it's not going to work because it's like again, nice little bonding between Luke Cage and Danny because Luke looks over at him and like sort of like just break away from the bitch, and he does, and she's like, all right, I guess violence is how we're going to solve
that
this.
said, even in this scene, Danny's going, no, I'm going to fight you. This the same speech he's been given over and over, and it's still got no passion or charisma.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, someone called him out on it. I can't actually remember the exact moment, but someone kind of said, oh, you've been saying the same shit or whatever forever. I think it might have been Stick.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah, it was something along those lines where he implied that, oh, you're saying the same shit again, and you don't really know what you're facing, kind of idea. And obviously Matt has a lot of that as well, where Matt kind of like pulls him up in his shit.
How good is it to just have everyone calling Iron Fist on his shit?
He tells him to start acting like a child, which gets under his nerves. Like, Iron Fist is like ready to go. He's like, oh, what'd you say? Like, he's ready to go. Again, really, I don't know what it is. It's almost a new fetish of mine to just hear people tell him how much of an asshole he is. It's great.
I could watch a whole episode of just that. I mean, this almost was.
Almost not enough though. I could use more.
No, I could do like a full 45 minutes of just that.
I could always do more.
Do you know what we need? You know how like Marvel do? They do a bunch of like extras and little videos and spoofs and things. That, they put on the Blu-rays and stuff. Mm-hmm. Can we just get like a spoof of just them doing a roast of Iron Fist?
A roast. Also, maybe just a series of shorts where Iron Fist will make a comment on something, and then someone next to him will
do it better.
Either do it better, or just like tell him he's an idiot.
Yeah,
that's what I want. That's what I want. So,
good.
So yeah, her entrance. There's a car, Elektra. Elektra comes in ready to fight, and she comes in. It's a big, proper, heroic entry again at the end, and she joins the lineup, and like. All five of them, including Sticker, they're ready to fight. So it's a nice big,
I love that there's
finale.
A moment where it looks like the car's just driven through.
It does, because I thought she was going to step out from the. I thought it was Jessica, but I thought she was going to step out of the car.
Right, same. And then she just steps out from behind.
Yeah, it's like okay, that's actually
that was way cooler.
Yeah, that's more badass. Yeah. So. No, I dug everything it built to. Obviously, Matt's interested in this because he knows it's Elektra. Stick brings up it's Elektra. They've not told the rest about that, obviously. He mentions it's our little secret. And he's more reluctant for a lot of it, and he tries to like really get across the idea that people are in danger because he did lose Elektra. So his character feels very much in tone there. Luke... is kind of like being very straight man about the whole thing. Like he doesn't really necessarily believe a lot of this shit, but he's going along with it.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's going along with it. He'll listen to it for as long as need be. So flipping over to the other, I think it's interesting actually. This episode didn't have any side character. I mean, Stick's technically a side character, but I mean, there was no
he
Colleen.
Was in there with him.
Yeah,
still.
No Colleen, no Claire. No Trish, no Foggy, any of those types of characters. This was the four main characters with Stick who's explaining stuff and the villain. Like that was, or villains including Elektra. And speaking of Elektra, so one of the other fingers of the hand, the man with the white hat, he's like questioning if they should have even like brought her back. It's taking their resources. So you're the last hope for the hand, and Elektra responds by killing his two henchmen in very quick succession. After she's eyeing up the Psy, don't think I wasn't pay attention. She's like, that's my signature weapon, that.
That's it. Now, is that just an instinct, or is it remembering?
Yeah, like, if she remembers she has a fondness for Psy, does she remember she has a fondness for devils? That's the question.
Right, and like Matt says, she hesitated. Like, maybe she can be reasoned with.
And of course, Stick being the pessimistic asshole he is, where he's like, no, Matt, you shouldn't be. Because he even like, I trained him to fight a war, and he's like helping people from muggings and alleyways. Like, why are you pissed at him for doing that? If anything, that's like practice, more fighting, more.
But it's 5 years of war fighting that he could have been doing.
Yeah, it's just stick being stick though, isn't it?
It is.
But
I loved how nonchalant he was about the hand, being cut off. He's like, "Yeah, they're like, what happened?" He's like, "Ah, I cut it off to escape." Whatever.
and I think there's a sort of added bit of wink, wink, dark humor because they're talking about the hand the whole time,
Of course.
and he's cut his hand off. It's like that's what we have to do. We have to sever the hand.
Yeah, pretty much.
to get to the puns and whatnot. So that's all fine and well. We also see Sigourney Weaver, Alexandra. She's getting sick. She's meant to be going out. She gets all dressed up, all fancy, and then she gets a little bit ill. She takes some pills, and she decides at the last minute not to. We also see her go to who I believe is another finger of the hand, who I think Stick explained was behind Nobu in season 1.
So it's the Japanese hand.
Yeah, Murakami is his name. I'm just looking over at the credits there. He is gutting a bear during this scene, but she's there basically to unite the five fingers. In fact, that's what our threat is. She's like, Stick, do you remember what happened the last time the five fingers got together? Like, it's a big threat, like, all five of them. It's almost like the evil Avengers, like, all five fingers of the hand come together. But no, so, it's interesting, because Alexandra warns him, like, you have to maybe worry about death. Yeah. No, we can't necessarily bring you back next time. You might have to actually care about it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when are they going to acknowledge it's only four fingers left? Because one of them is dead.
True. Yeah.
And they're all like, "Yeah, it's the five fingers coming together," because that's the hand. But they've already got rid of one of them.
All right, 4 out of 5. As Danny said, he was dead the last time he saw him. That doesn't mean he didn't come back.
That's fair.
Though I would hope that he doesn't. But
given that Elektra was kind of like the last one to come back, I would assume that kind of took place, because that was at the end of Daredevil season 2.
That's true.
And then Iron Fist happened after that, so I assume the resources were already gone.
Did Iron Fist actually take place after that season of Daredevil, or was it at the same time, or overlapping, or I don't know? I'm just pondering. I don't actually know.
I mean, it's a fair question. I think the assumption has always been it's taken place after, because things like where Claire pops up.
Yeah, that's actually a fair reason.
Because it has to be because she references the hospital and stuff.
You're right. You're right. Claire's the reason why it has to. Yeah, it's just because in the movies, for example, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor all take place kind of around the same week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm thinking that.
I mean, the only way you could get around it is saying that final bit with Elektra is a little bit later.
It could be, but
I'm assuming he's dead until they show me otherwise now.
Bokata, we'll need time to come back anyway, so that's okay.
Aye. One less name for you to try and get right.
Bakuto?
I think that is right,
okay,
yeah.
Right.
but the problem is, you say it wrong so much that when you say it then, I'm like, I think that's right, but you could just be saying it wrong and getting it close-ish.
I could be. That's entirely possible. I think this is honestly this is a quicker one to work through because it doesn't have the plot lines all going and then they converge. Like it's because a lot of it is them sitting in a restaurant talking about stuff. A lot of it does kind of blur together.
Yeah, I loved how the lighting in the restaurant was like there was bits of everywhere. You had like the neon.
Yeah, there was
then
at the window there was a lot of red from the neon, and there was a yellow section at the back, and there was a green section. Like all their colours were in the restaurant. It was weird.
Yeah, it was this melding of all the colours for the meeting of the characters. It was nice.
I will say, I think I might like the score for this the most out of the shows because I feel like it's the most heroic. Like they've actually went out of the way because they're becoming a superhero team.
It's definitely the most heroic. I don't know if that makes it my favourite. I thought it was really, I don't know, like that ending bit where it's building, they're all doing the lineup. It was basically just the Daredevil theme that was playing there, the Daredevil music.
I never really noticed.
Which I was a little bit underwhelmed by because it's like, why is this the Daredevil? I mean, it's technically it's the most heroic sounding anyway.
To be fair, the Daredevil theme also played a little bit in Iron Fist as well. It's not like
no, it's true. But I just feel like because I associate with Daredevil, it's been his music that feels weird to have it for the whole
honestly,
team
I think
here at that moment.
I think you're looking at it wrong because it wasn't the same like a same version I've heard before for him. This was like a new. I think their thinking is that he's the baseline, and the stuff comes out of his theme. Like their team theme will sound like an alternate version or a jazzed up version of where some of his music started.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I can kind of see that thinking. I mean, my dream is that they all have main themes, and the team's theme is this weird concoction of all of them together, like working in
That
harmony.
would be so strange though, because obviously Daredevil's was what it was, pretty the most traditional score
Oh
in
no,
that
no,
sense.
I don't mean it would work with these four because of
Right.
all had completely different types of music. I just mean I love the idea of like doing a mashup of like say again it won't happen because I've not really set up for it, but say you had like a Justice League where the main Justice League theme was some weird mixture of the Superman theme, the Batman theme, the Wonder Woman theme, and that was like what made the team
I
theme.
would hate it because that Wonder Woman theme is atrocious and
Not
it needs
that
to be
Wonder.
gone.
I'm not talking about that Wonder Woman
I
theme.
know you're not, but I'm just saying they have themes for all those three, so don't put ideas in their head.
Okay,
Just
whatever,
don't do it.
whatever. Uh, but no. So no. So I thought it was a solid episode 4. It was a nice downbeat episode, but ended in a big hoorah kind of heroic moment where the team's kind of united.
And yeah, it's full of like just nice ones, like when Alexandra's just in there. You
Mm.
know, when they have that moment of realization. I think it's like Stick and Matt both at the same time, like, oh shit.
Yeah, they hear it. Yeah, and they
And they
both
just
turn
turn around,
around.
she's just sat there.
Yeah, which shows that she is still pretty skilled. Like she can get in there undetected.
Definitely killed the restaurant owners on the way in.
Oh, that's a shame. Let's say that. Poor guy. He was annoyed enough that Jessica's like moving his furniture to like barricade the door.
Yeah.
Which that was fun at the start actually when like Danny's just like, man, she's strong. What's happening?
Yeah, you know when they were like, oh, well, we can't do this. You know, well, we haven't got any protection. We were outside the law as well. Did go in there and doing that. It was trespassing and all that. And he was like, hey, I made an effort. I put on a tie. I was like, that might be the best thing he's ever said.
I wore a tie and everything, I believe was the line.
Yeah, I was like, that legitimately might be the funniest thing to ever come out of his mouth intentionally.
I mean, he's still mostly shit, but at least he's having the odd little highlight in this show.
It's he plays off the others better. It's when
He
he's
does,
doing
yeah.
his shtick with just giving his speeches to Alexandra and stuff. He's still the same old shite.
Yes, but when they're playing off of him and he's forced to
When
do
he's
something
being
with him,
when he's being a person instead of being Iron Fist Destiny nonsense crap.
that's what it is. He's not a character. He's a caricature.
Right, but when he's with the
Yeah.
others and just bantering, that feels much more natural. It feels like a character then.
Yeah, it's insane how poorly written he is
Right.
compared to everyone else.
And the fact that he's already immensely better written here than he was in his own show is kind of sad, and
And
we
he's still
still have problems.
and he's still got a lot of problems. But I think that I wonder if that's almost because they can't just change him overnight. Like they have to
Build to it.
nudge him, like because
That's, I hope maybe by the end he's not spouting that nonsense. Maybe
I
the
mean,
hell hand's dealt with.
because
and
would
we
it be
don't
too
have to go through
jarring if we started Defenders and all of a sudden he spoke completely differently from
it.
the
It
get
probably
go?
would because there's a continuity of that.
It's almost like they have to intentionally make him annoying to make it just work with the previous season, but they can maybe gradually, maybe through
Yeah.
friendship with Luke, kind of
Make him more normal.
less shit. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully. There you go. That's been episode 4 of Defenders. Obviously, we've set the stage, and we'll see how they proceed from here. Because I'm actually not sure now. I feel like things were relatively easy to kind of see how they were shaping up for the first few episodes. Whereas now it's like, okay, we've got a team, we've got the villain. What do we do now?
It's kind of cool that we're halfway.
It is, yeah. Only 8 episodes, so we're halfway through.
Because I really feel like it's going to be harder for them to just really lose momentum because it's like, okay, we're halfway.
Yeah, I got 4 episodes left. Like, so let's do this. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm feeling positive going forward for the rest of this.
I am very hopeful. So that is Defenders episode 4. Let us know what you thought of it. So, I'll try that again. Let us know what you thought of it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/milefuzztv. You can do that over there. But otherwise, guys, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. Have we got any vanilla?